And away we go. It is the Nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you, as always, by our friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. The patio is open. The chicken sandwich is back. You can get the little baller, which is chicken sandwich, some fries, a PBR. Have yourself just a delightful evening in Dayton, Kentucky, and make sure you tell them to pump it up and save yourself 15% off of your order. All right. The BCJ pod is in the books. I know, many of you consume both. So we're gonna mix it up a little bit. I figured tonight was Little Birdie night. If you're not
we're both so bad at that, right? Like you were bad at it tonight. I've been bad at it.
Yeah. It is like look, I was at open gym tonight. Okay? I'm just gonna say it. I was at open gym tonight. But we have to kind of, play dumb on some of these NCAA rules and the way things go. So we always joke around and just say, like, a little birdie told me what's going on. That's a peek behind the curtain for those of you that are new here. So tonight was Little Birdie night, the first Little Birdie night of the summer. These happen throughout the summer. Whenever I get a chance to make it to open gym, I am there. There's an NCAA rule that for some reason the media is not allowed to go to summer workouts. That used to be the strength of our summer content. Was I would get to go to workouts. I would talk about workouts. We would thrive in the workout space on how guys were looking. Now I can't go to workouts. I can go to open gyms. So I go to as many open gyms as I can. And then I bring that information back here and share it with you guys. So you get your basketball fix in the summer.
And the shtick will continue to be us trying to make this horrible attempt at pretending
Right.
that there are little birdies.
The one thing I will say from talking to guys tonight, I think a lot of guys are going to play in the Smith League.
Good.
Which starts next weekend at Purcell Marion, which means as frequently as possible, as much as I'm in town, I'll be heading to the Smith League and checking out guys in the Smith League, watching them play against other teams.
I hope that because there's so many new faces over the course of the last two seasons, that this instills that Xavier UC rivalry more so. Like I don't want to see him dap up after a game. Like this is my boy now. Like I just want the rivalry to be like thriving.
It's so different now, though.
I know
just the way that the city, like it's different than it used to be.
You see it in the
but
NBA
maybe with
too.
Sean Miller, maybe with Wes, maybe that comes back. Maybe there's the rivalry sparks and reignites. But I do think there's going to be a chance for you guys to get to go watch a good deal of the Bearcat players in the Smith League this summer. So you won't have to rely on me completely, but open run guys on the team that have been here for a while, guys that are new in town. We had 5 new guys that were on the floor tonight. You had Josh Reed, you had Sage Tolentino, you had Rob Finnessy, you had Landers Nolly, you had Kalua Zekpe. So I figured this would be a good chance for Aaron, because Aaron has a different perspective than Dave, for Aaron to fire some questions at me about what I saw tonight, most specifically from the new guys. If you have a question about some of the returning guys, that's fine.
Well,
but I think people are here to hear about
sure
the additions to the roster, right?
The first question I have is, who's the biggest shit talker?
Landers Nolly.
Good.
Not close.
Good. That's
Not
exactly
close.
That's exactly what you need to be too, right? If you're trying to come in here and instill yourself as a leader right off the rip. And so not only are you a bucket getter.
Bucket get confirmed. Not that we didn't know this.
Right.
Like, we've watched Landers Nolly play for a couple years now. We know that dude's dangerous.
Upon his commitment, he was the guy, the go-to guy. So that's not a surprise that, that he's the bucket getter.
And who did he spend the entire run shit talking?
That's what I'm more interested in.
Jeremiah Davenport.
Which he doesn't take that well.
They were nonstop at each other. And not only when he hits a three, he's got this little like
almost the Guevara.
It's no, but he did it in JD's face like 3 times.
Doesn't like that, huh?
It was fun. But it's also the first open run of the summer. At some point in time, those two are going to have to be separated.
Well, I was going to say, I can't wait until Aaron, you can't talk about this on air, but they had a fight.
I don't know that they'll fight, but
you don't know
somebody's going to have to step in between them, like at some point in time, because they were going at each other the entire open gym. It was fun, but in a fun way. So the team Davenport was on won the first 4 games. And you know how that went, right?
Well, especially when you have the best shooter on the floor on the losing end, right?
Right. And then Nolly's team won the last 3 or 4, depending on how you factor out the end of a run, which is always like everybody's tired and kind of, ready to be done with it. But Nolly came back strong and was the primary reason his team won the rest of the games. Now, Jeremiah was also on a better team.
Sure.
With Dave DeJulius. So when you put Jeremiah and Dave on the same team,
they know how
you got an advantage.
Yeah.
And you also had a surprising serious factor in a lot of those games, which was freshman Josh Reed, who I was very, like he belonged.
So that brings me to my next question, which we'll get to Josh Reed, but I'm more curious. I know when they run open gym because I've been to open gym.
Yeah, you've joined me for a couple open gyms.
Mm-hmm. But
you've been a little birdie.
I have. It's true. But I'm curious as to, traditionally they play run and gun where there's not a whole lot of back to the basket. But who stood out as a back to the basket guy tonight?
Nobody particularly, as it's just not something that happens a lot in open gym.
Well, I just didn't know if maybe we saw some of that out of Vic, maybe we saw some of that out of Sage, maybe we saw some of that
a little bit from both.
Maybe we saw some of that out of Kalu. Exactly.
Kalu is more of a mid-range, mid-post guy. He's got a sweet mid-range jump shot that is money. And he really passes it well from the high post. He did have a couple like straight line drives to the rim where I think about, this is the first one. So everybody's kind of feeling each other out and getting a good read on each other. He had, and we talked about this on the BCJ pod, he had one where he caught it, about 15, 17 feet, and he took a power dribble and banged into Josh Reed. Josh Reed held his ground. He took a power dribble again, and he banged into Josh Reed. Josh Reed held his ground. And I don't know if Josh just didn't think he was going to do it a third time because he had held his ground the first 2 times.
Perhaps.
But then he did it again.
Went through him.
Josh Reed bounced a little bit this time, and he had an open layup. So he was impressive. He's 6'8", like a legit 6'8", and broad shoulders, good athlete, gets up and down the floor, rebounds, physical, and has some skill. So I really liked what I saw from him. There was a lot of physicality down low between Vic and Sage. Look, if you'd have bet me $1,000 that Sage was going to come in at 235 and look like a grown-ass man, you would be $1,000 richer than me.
With full-grown facial hair.
I said to him, dude, I saw that picture yesterday and didn't recognize you. And he just started laughing. He said, I've been working. Like, I've been putting in the work. I've been serious about getting here and being ready to contribute. And I think it's like him and Josh have both kind of really pleased the coaching staff with how ready they are.
Good.
You never know with freshmen until they arrive on campus, right? Like, you can monitor the situation, you can tell them to do whatever you know, but it's up to them to get here and be ready. And both of those guys have arrived ready to compete, ready to fight, which is outstanding.
How many just logo shots did we see?
Not many.
Okay, good.
Not many. There weren't a lot. Again, that's something that'll happen as the summer wears along, right? Like, as guys get kind of
tired,
sick of being there. Like, like they had workouts. They were with Mike yesterday. They had workouts yesterday. They were with Mike Rayfeld again this morning, and then open gym this evening. So, like, you get to a point as you go through an 8-week window where your body is just like, I need to go take it. I need to nap. Like, I need to go rest. We're not there yet. So that's the fun part of these early workouts, because it's guys literally, especially now, everybody's trying to mark their territory. Like, the old guys are the old guys, and the new guys are coming in and trying to, say, hey, I'm here. It was funny, though. The funniest thing for me is Davenport and Nolly were shit-talking the entire time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But every time Nolly would do something, like, really good, Davenport would run back down the floor and look over to us on the sidelines and be like, that's what we've been missing. That's what we've been missing.
He knows.
Right.
I mean,
right?
His basketball.
But I love that side of it.
Yeah, his basketball IQ is outstanding.
Right. And he just, like, it was funny to see how much they were shit-talking each other. But then, like, Nolly went down the lane and drew a help side defender and zipped a pass inside to Ezekpe for a layup. And, JD's running down the floor like, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, think about it, though. Like, I mean, he literally has the skyline on his chest, right?
Right. It means a lot. He wants them to be good.
And he didn't leave. He stuck around through, what, three regimes, right? So, I mean, this means a lot to him. So, yeah, I mean, of course, getting a guy like Landers Nolly here is going to mean the world to him because it takes so much weight off of his shoulders.
Here's what I noticed more than anything, and this will make you happy. There wasn't pouting. There wasn't like, woe is me, or like, I'm not getting my shots, or, it was a bunch of dudes that are looking around and going, all right,
we got a squad.
There's a shit ton of talent.
Yeah.
I might have to play well. I might have to show my worth in these open runs to get the respect from my teammates, and which ultimately leads to getting playing time and becoming a major factor here. So it was a fun first open run.
All that's missing a couple guys still. So, we'll see what happens when everybody's here. That all said, though, who had the best dunk? Because I know these guys like to throw down when you have these open gym runs.
There were a few. There wasn't anything crazy today.
No.
I'll give the best one to Sage.
Okay.
Sage had a play where he's, short corner baseline. I can't remember even who threw it, though. It might have been Nolly. It was either Nolly or Finnessy. And drove lane, drove middle, drew the help side, kind of a sick pass inside to Sage as he cut across the baseline and finished it with like a two-hand power dunk.
Brought up
right
the knees.
At the rim. Yeah.
All right.
I'll give it to Sage for today. Because there wasn't any, like, the block of the day was definitely Sage. Josh Reed caught one in transition and tried to do like the 2-foot, 2-hand when he should have done the 1 foot, just get it in. And as he gathered and went up, Sage met him up top for like the jump ball block at the rim, where he just kind of like cups it and catches it at the rim to the point the ball got stuck in between the rim and it got lodged in between the rim and the backboard. That's how good of a job Sage did. I'm blown away by how far he has come in such a short window now that he's 100% healthy. And again, this is a credit to his high school coach that didn't rush him back from his knee injury and force him to potentially stunt his growth. They let him come back slow. They let him come back as he was comfortable and stack minutes as he felt more comfortable stacking minutes. They didn't overuse him if they had games in quick succession. They allowed him to get 100%. He didn't have a knee brace on today.
Chad, I just want to temper expectations though, because people are going to run with this and think that he's the starter now. So
no.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows why this is just open gym.
Yeah,
he stood out.
This is also why I'm tempering it with saying this is just based on where he was, 8-9 months ago, and where I expected him to be when he stepped on campus
today.
I did not expect him to be this far along when he stepped on campus. So huge credit to him for getting to this point where I was talking to somebody on the way home tonight on the phone, and I said, look, maybe he's still a guy you redshirt because it's best for his long-term prospects.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, looking at him physically, hearing about how hard he has worked to get here, I don't think you have to. Right? I think
that's good news.
Right. I think redshirting him is still, if it's best for him, an option. But he's going to be okay. He still has 5 months of development between now and the start of the season.
Absolutely.
If this is where he's at, he's 7 foot, almost 7'1". He measured in just under 7'1".
Yeah.
At 235 pounds already.
Well,
he hit like a 17-footer, just rhythm. Ball found its way to him. Knocked it down, blocked shots. He rebounded. He ran the floor.
We're at 18 minutes. I have a couple of questions I'm going to have to knock out, but not ask. But I will ask.
Go ahead. Come on.
Well, I was just going to say, with Rob Finney, you said he started slow. What did you see from him that encourages you if he is to be the starter come this new season?
He's got really good pace and really good feel coming off of ball screens, understanding how to get to the lane, how to break people down, how to draw the defense. He started slow scoring the ball, but then as the session went on, it was like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes that they ran open gym. With the last half hour, 45 minutes, he really started to look comfortable putting the ball in the basket. He had a sick, came downhill, went right to left, and then finished on the other side of the rim in traffic, with a shot blocker right there that was
nice.
And it was Abdul Ado.
Oh, he was there?
He was there. Yeah.
Was there.
Nice. And he went to block the shot, which
he's
is one of the best shot blockers in the country. And Finney on the other side of the rim got it up and around him and finished. So
that's a dude. If you're going to score on a rim protector, that's a dude.
Mamadou was there.
You did mention that during
Double D.
BCJ.
Deion Dixon was in the house.
Yeah. One of my other questions. I know we talked off air before we started the BCJ pod even about Hensley, and you got me really excited about Hensley.
Okay, so here's the story. I'll make this as quick as I can so we can get out of here.
Yeah.
If you go back to the last Houston game of the regular season, Hensley dives on the floor and comes up giving it in his right hand. One of these, right? Never heard anything else about it. He broke his fucking wrist and didn't tell anybody. Didn't complain about the pain. Didn't complain about anything. He broke his wrist and played with it for like 5 weeks.
Which
to the end of the season.
In that time frame, he had his best games.
Yeah, that's when he played his best.
Doesn't even make any sense.
Right. So that apparently led to throughout the offseason, he's had his hand in a cast, and he's had to shoot one-handed to get shots up. And he's the kid is a relentless worker.
Is he naturally left-handed?
He's left-handed, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So he just, in the process of having to learn how to shoot one-handed, learned how to shoot like with the ball flat on his palm, and really, because he had kind of that like sidewinder shot, and he had to learn how to just shoot straight on at the rim. It's drastic, the difference. Drastic, the difference. Now it will be a matter of, can he translate it to live action in real games? But if he can, I watched him make like 9 in a row. Like nothing but net. Just. And it was like, oh my God. Like at 6'8", and with his aggressiveness and the way he plays the game, if he all of a sudden is now a threat from 3,
watch out.
This is I will say this confidently, this is a significantly better roster than we saw a year ago.
One last quick question for you. Who was your MVP from Open Gym tonight?
Landers Nolly.
Good.
He's the most talented dude on the roster.
That's what you want to hear, though, right? You want to hear that your best player, the guy that we all thought coming in was your best player. Turns out he is your best player.
Yeah. That was day one. Stay tuned. Little birdies telling us all kinds of fun stuff.
Tweet.
This summer. Tweet. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. Galactic Fried Chicken is the sponsor. The Nightcap is the show right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!